Well, the world is in an utter state. In New York, they're experiencing what Europe has been experiencing for years. Thousands of illegal migrants are flowing into New York. Now, of course, that's nothing new for New York, as according to reports, there in states housing migrants, there are people having sex in the hallways, used tampons and condoms everywhere, and migrants just generally doing as they wish. But in New York, they moved thousands of illegal migrants onto an island, and the locals started to riot. And the same locals that rioted were the ones that were in favour for this. And so it just shows you, whenever illegals are moved into the suburbs where the wokest lives, then they start to riot. Because once their little bubble is penetrated by the seeds of their actions, then they start to riot and say it's unfair. But when illegal migrants are moved into a hotel in a little village with concerned citizens, they label them as racist and say that they need to put up with it. But at least finally America is experiencing what we have been experiencing for multiple years. During the 2015 migrant crisis, America lectured us, Europeans, on how we shouldn't be racist to migrants. When thousands of migrants were pouring into Sweden, starting rape gangs and forming little ghettos where Sharia law reigns supreme. What did the leftists tell us? That we were being racist and that they didn't exist, they were a conspiracy theory. Not until InfoWars and Paul Joseph Watson found them to be true. I just hope that these migrants start rape gangs in America so that the Americans can get a taste of what we tasted and what they frequently denied all throughout the 2015 migrant crisis and the subsequent years. Meanwhile, in the Islamic Republic of Londonistan, in Peckham, the former domain of one of Britain's much-loved sitcoms, Only Fools and Horses, well, now it's a shithole, like the rest of London. A black woman was assaulted in a hair salon shop where she was trying to get a refund for some wigs and was clearly caught stealing. Now, the owner of the business was a Pakistani, and he assaulted her. Now, it was wrong that he assaulted her, but at the same time, the CCTV shows her assaulting him, hitting him with a stick. So she shouldn't have assaulted him, and he shouldn't have assaulted her. But regardless, after she left the shop, she then whipped up an entire storm, and protesters started to gather outside. The Pakistani man said that he had to flee the area and take his children out of school. Meanwhile, Black Lives Matter and black supremacists showed up there and were immediately spouting their usual nonsense about white supremacy, even though no one in the incident was white. But of course, whenever a black woman gets assaulted, blame the white people. That's what happens nowadays. White people are the scapegoats now. Anything happens, white supremacy. And on the subject of black supremacy in Britain, the BBC and Horrible History, a much-loved sitcom which I used to love back when the original cast were in and it was historically accurate, well, they produced a song claiming that black people have always been in Britain. Well, they haven't. I'm sorry to say it, but they haven't. The Cheddar Man, the alleged proof of black people in Britain, was not black. The new reconstruction of the Cheddar Man was done by highly left-wing woke activists who, of course, let their personal biases towards white people and Britons get in the way of scientific research. So they chose the skin colour of the new bust. When in reality, we will never know the skin colour of the Cheddar Man, and, according to scientific data, he would have been light-skinned. The fact of him being black is a lie. Of course, wokists love nothing more than to lie. Oh, and also in Britain, in Wales, the Lelyheim, or I don't know how to pronounce it, but the hotel incident, basically the government want to move thousands of illegal migrants into a small hotel in a village in Wales. The locals are resisting, and they're still resisting. Patriotic Alternative have got involved, which is good, and Patriotic Alternative Scotland have shown their support. Hopefully, the British people can stand up to this wretched replacement. Oh, and in America, Trump is winning. Although in August, Trump was arrested and received his famous mugshot. After he's been let out of jail, he's been taking America by storm. It looks like the paedophile Joe Biden is going to lose. I mean, it's not surprising when you look at what good old Jojo has been doing to America. Under good old Joe, America is on its knees. The economy is up in flames. Its people are mad. Mentally deranged transgender activists have been allowed to infiltrate every layer of society in America. The American school system no longer teaches kids useful information, instead transgender activist talking points, or gender theory, or critical race theory. Young kids in America are now being told they can be any gender they want, and are being assigned gender-changing hormones and testosterone and a binder at school without the permission of their parents by a woke activist teacher. And so, of course, during this, brave men like Matt Walsh stood up and made his not award-winning, but great documentary that should win an award, What is a Woman?, which exposed the gender cult. Because it's yet to be rated, but there we go. And of course we had the scandal of the alleged QAnon conspiracy film Sound of Freedom. Now, whilst I'm not religious at all, you can admire that a religious film around child trafficking is good. But of course, the wokists and the leftists were outraged, saying that it was a QAnon conspiracy theory and that there weren't celebrities trafficking kids. Really? What about Jeffrey Epstein? What about the multiple Hollywood pedos that have been revealed? Because I can assure you, child trafficking among the elite is definitely happening. And why do you think wokists don't want a film exposing child trafficking and paedophilia? Because they are the very things they're trying to promote. In schools across America, they're saying it's okay to be a paedophile. And of course, we all know that the woke movement and the trans movement are funded by the elite, by the globalists. We all know that these globalists like to dabble in certain practices. One of them being the practice of using foreskin as oil. And I say that in Africa, children are drained of blood in secret occultist warehouses and then have their foreskins removed. Whilst someone would say that's a conspiracy theory, I would say that's not beyond the realm of possibilities of what these woke elites would do. After all, these woke elites claim that they drink each other's blood. So I wouldn't be surprised if they actually were sacrificing African children to whatever demonic sun god they're worshipping to. And I think there's all the everything I wanted to talk about. So let's just reflect on the state of the world. It's shit. The Western world is collapsing due to woke brainwashing of our kids, an invasion of illegal immigrants, the utter destruction of our culture, heritage and history by activists, and the incompetence of our politicians. Is it any wonder why Russia formed their own NATO with the Arab states and with other countries loyal to Russia? Is it any wonder that Russia and China are now becoming the new world after the fall of America? As that's what we're witnessing now. We're witnessing America, a once mighty and great nation, a nation that once controlled the world's wealth, filtered through Wall Street. That nation is now collapsing under the absolute incompetence of its leaders and the brainwashing of its people. And soon, it won't be long till America falls. And I just hope that you American hillbillies are ready with your assault rifles for the coming fight, as there will be one. Meanwhile, the Qataris, the Arabians, the Russians, the Chinese will all be sitting in their $1,000,000 mansions, watching as the Western world collapses and their world begins.